Hey everybody, we're going to do a video today on, I'm going to start making up some outside furniture out of pine slabs that I cut 18 months ago or better. So they're dry. It's all pine stuff I've got, but I think what I'm going for looks, it's going to go good. What I want to do is 3 benches that will go around the fire pit. I'm going to do 3 with I believe that 4-inch thick, 3.5, 4-inch thick slab that I did. I had some short pieces that I cut up. So I'm going to try to make 3 benches with those that will go around the fire pit. I just think it'll look kind of cool. Most people want a rustic look in their backyard when you do a fire pit. You're either doing like a major patio with rock walls and everything else, or you're just doing a simple fire pit. A lot of the fire pits we do, we literally go out in someone's yard. We'll do a walkway from the edge of their garage or something to a round circle, dig it all out, put pea stone in, maybe put some pavers, walking pavers, but I do 2 or 3 of those a year, most years. So I think if I have these to make as part of that, I'm going to call it a kit, because I'm going to try to make three benches and a couple end tables, and I'll show you what I'm going to use. These were the cut-offs from the last job I just did, so I think I'm going to clean those up and make a couple end tables. These are some short slabs that I had hanging around. So I think what I'm going to do to make these look a little bit neater, this is live edge, but it's kind of a boring live edge, so I'm going to try to find a longer blade for my jigsaw today, and I'm going to try to roll those a little bit so they look more rustic, I guess you might say. And then my thought, I got some longer pieces here if I have to make some more, but these might be for another project. I think I'm going to do some signs and router, and I got some tools that will grind out some of it. But this will be the feet for those benches and the end tables. It's a pretty clean log, somewhat uniformed in shape until the end. It kind of bells out, but it's also got a pretty big crack in that end. But these are just logs I've had sitting around for, this one's been sitting around in the yard for probably more than 2 years. I've got a handful of these where the bark completely fell off, so we'll be cutting those up. And I think I'm going to do an 18-inch piece and try to get a handful out of that one log, and if we need more I'll go grab another one, but we'll be doing that next. So what I did, I got I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces of slab that I cut from a tree that was probably only like 12 inches, 13 inches round. I'm going to make the feet out of this 6x6 beam for those 3, so that I can make 3 matching ones. Then I'm going to actually make 3 benches out of this just piece of this is a piece that came off my sawmill, but my blade was getting dull, so it's kind of wavy a little bit, but I set it aside. So I think I'm going to make 3 benches out of that too. Like I said, I like to get a few of these put together, so when I do a fire pit I can offer this as an addition to it. These are also some like just odd things that I cut off my sawmill that are sitting up there graying. They're all dry, so I got to start doing some projects with them anyways. I don't want to see them go bad. And some of these logs, I think this log, I believe I ran into some steel in it, so I stopped. I just cut the 4. The other 3 logs that I got off that same job, I was nervous of it, so I just cut some 6x6 beams. They were small trees anyways. I think they're only probably, 16 inches round, whatever it was. But I pretty much cut everything up now on my sawmill. I don't waste nothing. I try to recycle everything that comes home now, as long as I don't run into steel. I did have one last year. I ran into some barbed wire and wished I would have never. I ended up making it into firewood after, because I 3 blades later, before, it was so weird I couldn't pick up on what was going on, but then I finally see it. So barbed wire that got into that tree years ago. There was no sign of it on the outside of the bark or anything, so. I just want to show that's the scraps that I had from those 3 big pieces I brought down, which is pretty cool. I ended up making a 40-inch bench. So I'm going to take this rough cut with some of those 6x6s, and I'm going to take and round the edges. I'm going to make it look more rustic than just square edges. Same with those, I'll make it look like a live edge. I'm probably going to round those 6x6s right out for that. And I also cut some 6x6s because I've got some smaller slabs like this that I need. I didn't have any rounds that were small enough to make the feet for those seats. I got a couple that I kind of just cut a slab out of the center, and that's where these came from in some cases. But I got a few pieces, but rather than waste that, I'm going to try to do some rustic furniture with it. Good way to get rid of it, you know, rather than waste that resource. That's the thing I want to do in the winter, and this is perfect. I think this is going to be a good winter to do it. This is what the backyard looks like. It's a mud mess. Every bit of frost is out of the ground and everything. So what I'm going to do with these, I've got 3 or 4 of these small pieces of 3-inch, 3.5-inch slab. And they're kind of just rolled up on the ends. They're kind of beat up because they've been sitting around for a couple of years. But I'm just going to take a jigsaw and I'm going to cut more of a rounded shape, make it look, I don't want to say I'm faking out a live edge, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Basically, it gets rid of that rough edge too. There's a big chip here, but I'm going to take and round all this top and bottom. This is a piece I plan on just putting round pieces of log, so I think it'll work out good. I am going to switch to a longer blade though. A bunch of stuff tangled up in there. I'm going to really round these out. I'm going to use this shaping tool to round the edges a little bit, and then I'll sand it. And I'm going to put one together, see what I think of it, and then I'll build the other 2. I'm going to try to do sets of 3. I'm going to try a wire brush. There's a lot of dirt on that from sitting out. I got to do a lot of sanding and stuff, but like that just gives it a basic shape. But I got to decide whether to sit on this would be the better side or this. I'm going to sand it up before I make that decision, but like I said, I'm going to round this up a little bit more, and then I'm I'm going to take some of these rounds and I'm going to clean one of them up. So, keep going. Looking like it's going to work pretty good. Just rough sanded it, but I'm going to give you an idea. That will be, I'll make 3 of those. I got 3 pieces this small. Really ain't much else you're going to do with it, but I think this will make a cool seat. My thought originally was to stick it on round logs like that, but that piece is kind of small. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them on a rough cut 6x6 like that. I'll make it look more like the top is, just a rustic look instead of being squared. So I got a couple pieces I'm going to set up on the bench and do that. I'm going to round it with this tool, and then I'm going to take the wire brush, clean the gray off. But like I said, I just want to make it look a little more rustic than the square piece. So basically that makes it look a little more rustic, and then I'll sand that somewhat smooth. But like I said, this is outside furniture and I'm looking for that rustic look. But I think that will look better as a leg for that in the end result. I just clean this one up with a wire brush on that DeWalt grinder. Someone on my last video of that bench I made, someone said, hey, I use this, and I had one, so it seems to be the best way to get the dirt and gray off. Same thing, I had this off the mill, and when I first got my mill, I was learning, and if you look at this, it's kind of wavy because the blade was getting dull. I cut a handful of those up, and I've used them for different projects. Like I said, that was during my learning curve on my sawmill, so I got some that it's nothing I want to, I mean, you could do a project out of it, but this is a good way of using that stuff up. In my eyes, that's going to make a nicer looking bench to put around the fire pit. And I'm going to leave it that length. That's comfortable for me to sit on, but, and I'm going to seal the ends. What I'm doing with all the stuff I got sitting on the ground is I'm going to burn that very end and then still seal it with the clear. A lot of people claim that's the best. It does seem like it seals up nice too. I did it to a couple of the pieces a few weeks ago just to try it. And I just take my torch here in the garage and I burn it real good, and then touch it with a sander, and it actually absorbs the sealant right in pretty good. But I think that I'm going to make 3 of those, and maybe a couple like end tables if you want to put a beer on it or whatever when you're around the campfire. They're not tippy at all when you're on this, and I don't think they will be outside neither. Got that somewhat together. I'm going to make 3 more of those. I had these discs left over from that last job I just did, so I sanded that up, and I believe I'm going to make 2 of those. I took those other slabs and cleaned them up with the jigsaw. Now I'm going to shape them with my shaping tool, and I did a couple short pieces because I'm going to do like an end table to those 3. I'm going to try to do 3 seats, 2 end tables to every kit I'm putting together. But I just figured I'd take a shot where we're at. It's been raining for days, so I went out this morning and grabbed a few more. I cut a few more stubs off the log, and I had some just weird pieces that came off the sawmill, short pieces that I had cut. I'm gonna make a seat, you know, a bench out of that. I cut some more rounds. I had that one log, so I just cut it in half with the chainsaw real quick. I didn't want to. I got the sawmill shut down for the winter and covered up pretty good, so. But this will give me, I just figured I might as well build a handful of these things and then clear them all at the same time. This is where we're at. I'm gonna keep sanding. What I'm doing is this is, been in here for a couple days just drying out. This stuff isn't wet from being green, it's wet from being outside in the rain. We've had rain the week before I brought this stuff in here, we had 4 or 5 days of rain, so. I'll show you, so basically, this one here, I mean, it's got dust on it, but that one there started out like this, which that was just basically a piece of rough cut lumber, but I'm trying to just fake out a shape, and this is the start of this one. That will look more like a live edge piece of wood when we're done. Be pretty friendly to sit on too once it's all finished. That's just a chunk. I can't remember the reason I even have that chunk that looks like that, but I think that's going to make a nice heavy bench. This is something that's probably going to end up near my sawmill to sit on. There's that piece again. Like I said, they hit it with a sander a little bit. Now I'm going to let it dry out for another day or two, and then hand sand it a little bit. That piece there is flipped upside down. It's kind of grade looking, but that bottom side of that was kind of wet. Same with that one over there. So I'm just letting that water get out of it while it's in the garage. I got all these pieces lagged and screwed together, and what I'm going to do is I've already done it underneath of these with the oil urethane. So these 2 pieces go with these 3 seats. So I'm going to do those with the oil urethane. These other 5 pieces, I'm going to actually try to use a sealer clear coat that's for log cabins, and it's I believe it's a water based, but it's just a thicker product. I'm going to try it. I want to try a handful of different products, see what's going to work best for me. I think I'm going to get these clear coated the next, put a coat on tomorrow, and then another coat the next day, and then these will be done. I just want to take a quick peek. I use that Spy urethane. I did the bottoms of these twice, and the tops of them twice. I'm going to have about 6 quarts of material on these things. So these other pieces, tomorrow I'm going to do these other pieces with a, it's a Bear product, log home gloss finish. I want to try. I do like this Verathane. Seems to be a very good product. You put 3 coats. These stump ends really absorb it in, and that second coat's building. I found the secret to it, I think, is to let that sit a day, and then it seals itself to where the next layer doesn't go as deep. I did try on another project I did. I tried the water-based. I weren't happy with it, but that log cabin stuff I just showed you is water-based, but the guy, I actually found someone pretty knowledgeable at Home Depot one night, an older gentleman that seemed to know what he was talking about. I'm going to try it and see what I think. He says that he knows a couple guys that use that on the carvings and stuff they do. And it's about, I think it's like $23 less a gallon than the urethane is. So, and like I said, I want to try different products. I also got some projects coming up that are going to be real rough, like chainsaw finish. And he says that other water base will work better on that too. I'm trying to learn more about it as I do these, so hopefully, but like I said, we'll get some more pictures of these tomorrow, and I'm going to take a couple photos to have, but we'll do some more video when I do the last coat tomorrow night. I did the bottoms of these, set them on paint sticks. It seems to be working, and we'll see how it looks in the morning. We'll see what works better. Like I said, these are something I'm going to sell through the business next year, but I just figured I'd take a shot. That's done, and these are the products that I used. This Spy urethane oil base I really like the way it builds, like 3 coats. These have this is the 4th coat today. The Bear log home gloss finish is that's a double wet coat, and so let's say 3 coats. But I like the way this builds, where that there, you can tell it's sealing it. Like last night, the coat I put on, you could tell sealed it. But it's not going to be like a shiny, it's not going to be like clear coat. I think it's going to absorb in, but I don't care. I'm looking to protect it from, I don't want water to keep absorbing into it. I'd like to think if I sell some of these to put around a fire pit, they're going to be good for a 10 to 12 year window anyways. Maybe longer, we'll see. I did the butt ends that are going to be sitting on the ground. The water-based ones, I put a good 3 coats of those on those yesterday as I was doing other stuff in here. But like I said, I would so far I think I'm going to stick with this spa urethane, but I'm going to try different products. And I think it really depends too. Like, some people may not want the gloss looks where it's a rustic furniture to put around their fire pit. We're going to call this video here making this rustic furniture for around the fire pits. And again, I'm going to say, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And thanks for watching.